New at 6, 24-hour News 8's Coco McAvoy went to Lansing to find out just why our health leaders are so concerned about that particular policy.
Good evening. This is a controversial issue with two clear sides. One side believes that this is a public health issue that requires a mandatory quarantine, while the other side believes it's unnecessary. The Michigan Department of Community Health says their focus is striking a balance between those two.
The word quarantine evokes a lot of strong feelings among people.
It's become a topic of debate around the nation as several states announced a mandatory quarantine for medical workers returning to the U.S. from West Africa. But here in Michigan, the Department of Community Health says quarantine would be an extraordinary step and would only happen if a worker were not just caring for an Ebola patient, but actually exposed to their body fluids.
If we have a healthcare worker who's had direct exposure to a person with Ebola, and that exposure came through, for example, a needle stick exposure, that person would be at high risk of contracting Ebola and would therefore be under very close monitoring by public health.
The issue all boils down to this: keeping a balance between taking appropriate precautions and going too far, making healthcare workers unwilling to go to West Africa to help.
After all, if we're not able to help manage that outbreak in West Africa, we stand a higher and higher risk of more Ebola cases being seen here in the United States.
And Davis says quarantine may not be the best solution.
For some members of the public, quarantine may feel like a form of control. To a limited extent, it is, but really what we need to keep in mind is that the best approach as a nation to Ebola is to help control the outbreak in West Africa. The way to do that, given the limited healthcare personnel in West Africa, is to try to support that effort.
The Michigan Department of Community Health says the policies are constantly changing, but they'll do everything they can to make the best choice for the public. In Lansing, I'm Coco McAvoy, 24-hour News 8.